Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Satyam and in this video we are going to see top 10 React.js interview questions, whatever I have encountered during the interview. Recently I have given interviews for Accenture, Infosys, TCS and Capgemini and I was able to crack the interview for two company and got an offer later. So whatever the important question I have encountered in React.js, I will show you. So first question was what is React.js? So React.js you can say React.js is a JavaScript library. First you need to understand it's a library, not a framework, and it is used to building reusable components. So in the React we are creating the components and that component we are using in other place where it is required. And second point you can say about React.js, it uses virtual DOM. Because of using virtual DOM, the efficiency will be very high, and whatever the code we are writing using JSX. JSX means a JavaScript extension. That means we are writing HTML and JavaScript in same component, so that you can explain about React.js. Next important question is what is the building blocks of React? So you can explain about the component, JSX, props, context, and virtual DOM. So the components first, it is a reusable component that return in the HTML. After that, what is JSX? You can say JSX stands from JavaScript XML that will allow you to write HTML within the React.js. After that, you can say what is props and state. So props means properties and state means the variable where we are storing the variables. Props means we are sending the data from the parent to child. That will get more familiar in the next question. So you can also explain about the context and virtual DOM. Because of using virtual DOM, the performance will be high. So that is the second question. So we'll move to the third question. Third most important question is virtual DOM. And in many interview, they will not ask what is virtual DOM. Instead, they will ask what is reconciliation. So don't confuse with the DOM. So you can say virtual DOM is a lightweight copy of the real DOM or the actual DOM. It's a virtual representation of actual DOM. Whenever any update is required, we are not updating directly to the actual DOM. Instead, we are updating to virtual DOM on whatever the required change is there, that only it will be updating to the real DOM. So that will increase the performance of the application, so that you can explain about the virtual DOM. Okay. So next question he will ask, and any interview can ask, what is JSX? So first you need to explain JSX stands for JavaScript extension, and these elements are rendered in the React DOM. All the React components are written in the JSX. To embed any JavaScript expression in the piece of code written in JSX, we will have to wrap using the curly braces. So JSX basically used for writing all the HTML code within the React code. So that is JSX, you can explain. After that they can ask what is state in the React. So state is basically a variable. We can store the variable using the store a state. In the state we is a component of object that holds some information that are changed over the lifetime of the component. In it's similar to the variable in JavaScript for holding the data, similar to the variable. You can say explain out the state. After that they will ask, means the next important question you can say what is props. So props basically stand for properties. So let's suppose in our React component there are multiple components. So sending the data from the parents to child or from one component to other component, we are using props. So let's say one data is there in the parent component, and with the same data we required in the child component. So by using props, we can send the data from parents to child. Like that you can explain. So next question, also it is one of the important question, what is hooks? And whatever the hooks you have used in your component. So first they will ask whether you are using class component or functional component. So you can say hooks is the new addition in React 16.8 that will enable you to use React feature without using class components. Hooks lets you to reuse the stateful logic without changing your component hierarchy. So most commonly used hooks are use state, use effect, use context, use the reducer, reuse callback, use memo, and reuse ref. These are the most common hooks used in React. So we'll see some of the important hooks is there. Okay. First, what is use state? Use state is basically it's using, let's suppose from this code you can see we have count and set count, and we have assigned the const, and after that we have use state, and whatever the bracket 0 is there, this is the initial value of the state, and set count, this is count initial value, and set count whatever the value you want to update it, so that is set count. Let's suppose we have a button, and in on click what we are doing, on click we are setting the count value, and we are updating that value to 1. Whenever the button is clicked, the count will increase by 1, and here we are showing the count value. So let's say initially it will be 0. After clicking one time, the count will be 1. So this is the, by using this use state we can update the value. So this is use state. After that, they can ask what is use effect. So use effect is basically used for performing side effect. So in the class component, whatever the purpose we are using for component did mount, component did update, and component will unmount. So all the features we can use by using use effect, and this is basically for performing side effect. Let's say in your application you need to call that API whenever the page render or whenever the value is changing. So by using use effect you can use it. So here if we have use effect, and there is a arrow function, in that arrow function curly braces started, and in that we can write the API logic in that, and in the return statement whatever the cleanup activities you want to do, that you can do in that return statement. And here is an array dependency for which value, let's say the in the count the value changes. So here if you want to run that API in every count change, then you can write in that arrow, yeah, this, okay, that is use effect. After that you have use context. So if you are sending the data from one component to other component without nesting, so you can use context. After that we have use ref. This is one of the also uh, most important questions they will ask, what is the use ref, and they can also ask what is the use of use ref except this input field. So first you can say this is used to highlight, or it is used for in uncontrolled methods, yeah. So you can explain about use ref. After that they can ask what is React router. So you can say a React router is a standard library for routing in React. It's enabled to navigating among the view of various components in React application, and allowing changing the browser URL, and keeps the UI in sync with the URL. So if you want to install the React router, npm ireact router down. So basically for navigating from one page to another page in a React component, we are using a React router. So this is the basic structure, and the many interview they can ask write the basic code for router. So here is first components are browser router, and we are importing browser router, and we are saying it is a router. Then we have route, switch, and links. So first there will be router, that is browser router, and here we have switch. You can also without switch also we can write the our router, and here we have route and routes and a route. Instead of switch you can write routes, and here we can write route, and thus we can write the path and the component which we want to render. And this is the link where we are We have nav tag, and inside that we have link. So like that, we can say about that, explain about the router. Yeah, basically these are the components: router, switch, route, links are the main component of the router. And in many interview, they will ask what is the life cycle method of the component. So you can tell there are basically four life cycle methods in React. First is initializing, then mounting, updating, and unmounting. What will happen in initialization? This is the stage where the component is constructed within the given props and default state. This is the done in the constructor of the component class. Okay, it is in initial phase of any components. After that, there is a mounting. Mounting is the stage of rendering the JSX returned by the render method itself. Okay. After that, there is a updating life cycle method. What will happen? Any the state or the props is changing. So updating the stage when the state of the component is updated. Let's say that any counter value is changing to 1 to 2. So in that case, that update is happening, and this is called the updating life cycle method. After that, there is unmounting. The name suggests unmounting is the final step of the component life cycle, where the component is removed from the page. So these are the most important React.js question whichever I have encountered in these MNCs interview, and I was able to crack the interview, and I got offer letter from these two company, and there are others questions in React also. So if you want to see the all questions whatever I have encountered during the interview, let me know in the comment box. I will make the videos to describe all the questions along with HTML, CSS and JavaScript also. So I hope you enjoy the video. If you like, please subscribe the channel. So yeah, thank you.